Hi Malika.
Hi Harley.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to Sonder and Soul, weekly food podcast about the magic of eating.
Yes. We cook sometimes.
We cook sometimes. We do cook sometimes.
Yeah.
This week we have so many countries joining us.
I
And we're going to talk about why in just a second, but we want to welcome Guernsey, Jersey, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Isle of Man.
Hello. Hi.
These all English-speaking
countries, yeah.
And the reason being, well, I'm assuming the reason being, we had quite a little influx of listeners and followers and subscribers on pretty much everything because we were in the Observer.
I know, it's crazy, right?
The Observer Food Monthly 30.
Yeah.
30 thing, everything we're excited about in food right now, I think was the like byline. In the magazine itself, we were in print there, Sonder and Salt the podcast. We shared it on our Instagram, so if you follow us on Instagram, obviously you've already seen this, but if not, and you're one of these people that found us in the Observer, thank you so much for...
Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. If you are enjoying the podcast, please leave a review wherever it is that you are choosing to listen to it. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. But let us know that you're actually out there.
Yeah.
Because to us...
On Apple, you can leave written reviews.
Yeah, leave a written review. That would be
if
great.
If you listen on Apple, we'd love that. Tell us where you're from.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah.
It's good for us because we want to put some names to some countries and faces, but it's really, really important for the podcast to help algorithmically push the podcast to more and more people. So if you are enjoying it, let people know. What's your food highlight of the week?
So my food highlight of the week, there's a couple. On Sunday, I went to a charity bake sale.
Yes.
Yeah, so I found out about it via Melissa, Foul Mouse Food on Instagram. We love Melissa. We say it all the time.
Love Melissa.
But she had... shared that she was a part of a charity bake sale for the earthquake relief, the earthquake in Turkey and Syria.
Yep.
So there's a bake sale with all of the big guns.
The big guns
from social media, from the world of food and all of that kind of stuff. A lot of people baked, contributed goods, and you just went there and you bought a couple of bits and bobs. It was crazy. The turnout was crazy.
I was going to say, and some of the big dogs were there serving and helping. And
Yeah. It was lovely. It was really nice to see. It was at Model Bakery.
Yeah.
Holloway Model Bakery. I think they're pretty young, actually, like in terms of business. But the queue was literally wrapping around the corner. There was so much choice. Unfortunately, I got there a little bit late. So by the time I got there, a lot of things had ended. Not ended, they'd finished.
Yeah.
But I did manage to pick up a gluten-free donut.
From Borough 22.
Yes, and it was fantastic. I can't lie to you. I saw it and I thought, do you know what I mean? Like a gluten-free, let me give it a try. It was like one of the best gluten-free products I've ever had in my life. It was not too dissimilar from a normal donut. And the thing that I have with gluten-free products is it is obviously gluten-free. It's obviously an alternative. Whereas this was just like a little bit firmer than I'd say like a Krispy Kreme, but as a donut, fantastic. Loved it. It was like a vegan vanilla gluten-free donut. Vegan and gluten-free.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's on Borough 22.
Yeah.
They retail donuts, I think, every day. I don't know if
No,
they
it's
have
every
a facility.
Friday.
Oh, is it every Friday?
Every Friday,
okay.
yeah. It's like a mail order kind of system. And I think they do like big orders, corporate events, that kind of stuff. But yeah, every Friday there's a link. You can place
And it's a black-owned business.
Yeah. No, really, really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
I can't even lie. I was shocked. I was really shocked. So shout out to them.
Yeah. And the reason that I don't have anything to say about this, despite it sounding like my food heaven, is because
you didn't get to come.
I had COVID.
Yeah.
I had COVID. So I was in my bed. I sent Malika an extensive list because I follow most of the people that were contributing to the bake sale.
Tried my best.
And I sent her an extensive list of all the things that I was seeing arriving.
Yeah.
Pictures like, I'm contributing this, I'm contributing that. I was like, please help.
They were gone probably by like 1 o'clock.
In all fairness, I think some of the bakers that I follow, because there was so many contributors, some people only bought maybe like 20 items of a thing. So you tried for me.
I did. I tried my best, but I think they raised over £40,000 or something. Like,
so I bought a raffle ticket. So if you weren't able to come, obviously it was in London for a couple of hours. They had a raffle as well. So yeah,
with some crazy, really beautiful prizes. All for a good cause. Can't complain.
What else have you enjoyed? Because I haven't. I've had COVID.
Yeah. So I recently tried something new.
Oh.
I went to a restaurant in Leighton, or Leytonstone, called Excellent African Cuisine, and it's an East African restaurant. I believe they're Ugandan, the owners, and so the cuisine is Ugandan. And I've never had Ugandan food before. That was an experience for me. And I'll be so honest, I loved it. Ugandan food. So I think I've mentioned before, I've got a lot of West African friends.
Yes.
Specifically Ghanaian and Nigerian.
Is it the last episode you were talking about your pigeon fingers?
Oh yeah, the efarira, the pounded yam. Yeah, so I've got a lot of West African friends. That's usually the kind of food that I will have. So this was a new experience for me. And it reminded me a lot more of the kind of food I grew up eating. It's quite light, quite simple, I would say, like chicken, rice. They have something that they eat in Uganda. I believe it's their like national dish or their most famous dish, matoke.
Right.
I sound so English when I'm saying that.
Matoke.
But matoke is basically green banana. Okay. To my understanding, it's a specific variety of green banana, and it's slightly sweeter than the green banana that we would have in Jamaica. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm screwing up my face because I think my dad cooks it.
Matoke?
Yeah, but he just boils it.
Why should dad cooking matoke?
I don't know.
Green banana or matoke?
No, because as you said it, I was like, this word sounds very familiar to me. Because there are so many different varieties of banana that
it's shorter.
Yes, we eat that. We eat that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We eat that.
So you like
know what it is? It's because there is no fruit on this planet that my dad will not make us eat.
The way you were looking at me, I'm thinking, sorry, did
I was having a That's So Raven moment. I was like, I've been eating this for years.
Do you know how funny that is? They're excellent African cuisine. They have a buffet every Sunday. I think it's about £20 per person.
Okay.
But the food tasted so fresh. It tasted like home cooked food. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was anything like super fancy. It's a very nice establishment. The service was nice, super clean. The food was really good. I had chapati, beef stew. I had the matoke, spinach and peanut sauce, which I really liked.
That sounds like a bit of me.
Bean stew. It was almost like rose. Yeah, you would like that. I don't know if you've ever had like rose cocoa beans.
No, I don't think so.
They're really nice, really pretty.
A legume I haven't met.
Yeah, it's really nice. If you have it in like a soup, I prefer them to red peas or kidney beans.
Yeah.
And then some pilau rice. They have like a swallow almost called posho.
Okay.
And I think it's made from maize. I really liked that. Some chicken, some cassava with a bit of pepper sauce. But yeah, really enjoyed it.
So I saw your picture of it, and we'll throw it up on Instagram again if anyone missed it. But it looked a lot like and I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Spitalfields, and it's like an Ethiopian place, and you get
variety.
Obviously, they're both East African countries, but just that like variety and that it's almost like a dosa.
Okay, yeah.
You know the bread that I mean? It wasn't what you had pictured.
It's the unleavened flat sour
that
type
very
bread.
flat, sour, almost soft, very soft bread.
What do they call that again?
I don't know, but the picture that you showed anyway reminded me of that kind of spread. So it definitely has my attention.
Yeah.
It has my attention.
Injera.
So. Is that what it's called?
It's injera.
Yeah. Might have to go down there. Now I know one with the matoke.
I'll take you.
People.
I can take you one day now that I'm,
Listen, these podcast listeners are waiting for all the places that we said
we are actually going to diarise them. That's the problem. We've got a laundry list of stuff outside of recording that we need to do. So yeah, but those are my two food highlights. Something new.
Yeah.
And something good. A bit of giving back, which was nice.
Yeah, that was good. Sadly, I've had COVID the whole week. I had COVID, but I had gusto. Yeah. So they weren't any amazing like new dishes. I literally just ordered safe, and it came the day after I found out I had COVID. Yeah. So I literally was just, even some of the meals, I just cooked the ingredients.
Yeah.
I had no energy. So I don't think some of the meals were like as gusto intended. But I was just like, okay, sesame oil, chili powder.
You just make it work.
Yeah, I ate. But luckily I didn't lose my appetite. Well, I did lose my appetite, but I didn't lose my taste.
Yeah, that was me.
I did not lose my taste or my smell. But yeah, I went through it. So it's still out there, guys. It's still out there.
But before we move on,
go on.
If you're not following us on Instagram,
yes,
make sure you are following us on Instagram.
Yes, we are at Sonder and Soul. You are
Malika Mouse,
and I am Harley.Reed. Yeah. We'll have it all linked in the show notes and the description of the video.
All the stuff that we talk about, we share it on Instagram and bit more than what we're able to fit into this episode.
Yeah, that's the thing. And often, if we know we're talking about something that we'll bring up on the podcast, we'll reshare it to the podcast page. So if you don't want to follow all three of us, follow Sonder and Salt. And you'll get a good mix of everything.
Yeah.
On today's episode, it's International Women's Month. Happy March.
Happy March.
Happy March.
We made it.
This week even, is International Women's Day.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to have that conversation on the pod. We just wanted to kind of recognise that. Obviously, we are two women here running a podcast. Yes. Every single element of it.
Yes, this is just me and you, baby.
There is no one else.
Just me and you.
No one else. And we've shared on the podcast a couple of times before how our upbringings have changed, how we feel about food and our journey with food. So we're going to keep it food focused.
Yeah.
So let's start there.
Yeah.
How have your relationships with women in your lives, or who are the women in your lives that have shaped your relationship with food up to this point?
I would probably say my biggest influence is my mother. And it's funny because it's not just that she taught me how to cook. It's my actual like holistic relationship with food is rooted in my relationship with my mother. My love for eating out. Yeah. The extensive nature, I would say, of my palate. My quite luxurious taste. Especially in things like olive oil. My mum was buying up different types of olive oil for so long, and I remember just looking at her thinking, what are you doing? Like, you're so extra. This is so unnecessary in my younger years. I know, exactly. So I'd probably say my mum has got the biggest influence on me when it comes to my relationship. Yeah.
I think same for me, as in those elements of things, my taste for the finer things in life.
Yeah.
It's come from my mum. But I would say my actual passion for cooking, and she'll say it too. If I make something that's really nice, she'll be like, how did you know how to make this? Like, who taught you this? Because she knows damn well it wasn't her.
Yeah.
There are things that she's taught me to cook, like she can cook, but I would say my actual drive to keep learning stuff about food and keep interest in like new developments and new restaurants and this, that and other still comes from her like innately.
Yeah. But
I would say that my passion to actually cook, and it's a bit of a backward story, probably comes more from my grandma and my aunt, their sisters. And I think it's due to them not really cooking that well.
Hang on a minute. I thought you were trying to say it was their cooking.
No. So what would happen? My Auntie Patsy would never have any food in the fridge.
Yeah.
She was living that. There's champagne in the fridge.
Yeah.
There's champagne in the fridge.
Tin of caviar.
The most fabulous person. Yeah. Like, she doesn't really do this lifestyle anymore, but she was literally growing up. She is and was my idol.
Yeah.
But she had that very much like open the fridge. Champagne.
The lights.
The lights and champagne. Yeah. So anytime we go around, it'll be like, oh, don't worry about that. Like, let's go out. Let's this, that, and the other. So her being like, what's cooking? What's cooking? I would just be like, okay, cool. We just eat out a lot. And then my grandma would always cook. Always cook. But there was just certain stuff I just didn't like how she did it. Like, one of the things was roast potatoes. No, I swear to you. And like, they're never bad meals, but the roast potatoes in particular, my grandma used to just chop potato and put in the oven.
Okay, yeah.
And whenever I went to people's houses,
dry on the outside. It's like almost like a film.
And I was always saying, like, why don't people's be like fluffy inside and then different outside? Like, how do you get it crispy? How'd you get it like that? How'd you get it like that and not just shriveled? So all those three people, my mum, her mum, and then her mum's sister, have shaped me through one way or another to just either be like, what's cooking? Or, actually, we need to improve this.
I'd probably say my mum planted the seeds of curiosity in my mind. And without my mum in the household, I probably could have grown up with a very narrow view on food. My dad is one of those people. He can eat Jamaican food every single day for the rest of his life. He has no problem having soup every Saturday, Sunday dinner, rice and peas every Sunday, hard food in the week, curry chicken or something. He can do that week in, week out. Ackee and saltfish, he's fine with it. Whereas my mum would be the person to bring a bit of variety into the home. So she can cook Jamaican food very well. There's certain things that my dad can cook better. But in terms of, creating a bit of variety and widening the palette, she was definitely that person. Even if it was a little side dish that was a bit different, there's that kind of core of like, this is your roots, this is your food.
This is who you are.
But, you know, you can also enjoy other things outside of that. My auntie, I wouldn't necessarily say she influenced me in that way or like contributed to my relationship with food, but she is one of those people.
Is this the auntie that makes a nice fried dumpling?
Yes, she's one of those people that I'd probably say watching her double down on things and like be really good at things made me want to perfect certain things. Yeah, because she's got a reputation.
Right.
Yeah, that her reputation. My mum's reputation is very, very good, but my auntie's reputation, especially up in Wolverhampton.
Are they sisters?
Yeah. Okay. They're sisters, they're best friends, they're stuck at the hip. Yeah, it's stuck at the hip, but they're quite different. She is like kingpin, like real OG. She knows her stuff, and that to me is always like, okay, cool. If I'm gonna do something, I think when I was like cooking curry goat, and I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it well because I want to be known for that. So I'd probably say that's where she's kind of influenced me in that way.
So who outside of your family in the wider world that our listeners may or may not know, do you think has influenced you or shaped you? Because I'm just thinking about like childhood. There weren't many, and there aren't enough now, like women on TV, like in food.
In the limelight.
Yeah, especially black women or any kind of women of colour that we kind of grew up watching. Yeah. Do you feel like there's anyone in that space? Like there's people that have always been around, like the Mary Berries of the world.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think, like there was a period, I remember when I was starting to become aware of like Lorraine Pascal.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't very young.
I can't say I watched with much enthusiasm.
No. Whereas like Ainsley Harriott was there.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of women food stars, they literally had them like on cooking shows. Yeah. Whereas with the men, they had them sometimes in more softer shows that are a bit more palatable, a bit more relaxed and not just like a show about cooking and that's where they didn't really set them up for success, I would say, where you weren't able to transfer that passion into like everyday life. If you weren't into watching cooking shows, you probably weren't watching them because they existed on cooking channels and that type of, and I think Lorraine,
or daytime TV.
Yeah, that it wasn't like, you know, someone like Gord. You know, Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon,
yeah, GX, you know.
His TikToks.
Yeah, GX. He's the shows that he's been able to cultivate go beyond just cooking.
And teaching.
Yeah, it's entertainment. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think it'd be good to have more women centred in entertainment shows.
100%.
Yeah, because if you're not, I guess it's like what we do. You don't have to be like a hardcore foodie. And if it feels like that, you can very quickly tune out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's kind of, I guess upon reflection, a little bit disappointing. Like, we had to stay close to home with inspiration. There weren't really any big boys, big girls in the arena like that. Well, that we saw. Yeah. I feel like even American TV and the experience that we both kind of grew up going back and forth to Jamaica, and you see American TV while you're out there, you'd see way more women, like, say they'd have a segment on Good Morning America like every single day with like some kind of female chef or whatever, whereas UK TV just isn't really set up.
You weren't seeing that back in the day. You weren't
really seeing that kind of segment anyway, just no one had it. Just
even if they were there, they clearly weren't being pushed appropriately because they're not they don't come to mind. Yeah, they really don't come to mind. I'd probably say as I got older, the first time I really started to notice women on food shows was probably when I watched Netflix Chef's Table, and it was littered.
That can't be that long ago.
It wasn't, but that's the point. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it wasn't, but I think Chef's Table and the like Chef's Table barbecue. I think they do a good job, a decent job, a decent job.
Improvement.
A decent job of making sure that they highlight women within that show. And the good thing with Chef's Table is each episode is centered around one particular chef, so they're not overcrowded by the men on the episode. You can pick the women out that you want to watch. And there's, I think, Dominique Crenn. I really loved her episode.
Yeah, let's talk about now.
Dominique Crenn, she's a French chef, but she is based out in the States, I believe in LA. She's got 3 Michelin stars for her restaurant, Atelier Crenn, in San Francisco, in California.
I need to go to San Fran.
Yeah, but her whole ethos was based around her relationship with her family, I believe, and I really just enjoyed her episode, her commitment to her passion and the honesty in the food that she was presenting. When you're a woman, you're fighting different battles in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's a male-dominated space, and I think people say it all the time. It's really warped the way women are socialised to be in the kitchen, but when it comes to being professionals, there's no space for them.
They're paying them to do it.
Yeah, they're not respected. It's a man's world professionally, 100%. But at home, it's the women's world where it's by force and you're the backbone of the family, and there's no real recognition because no one can see you in your home kitchen.
Not around there, it's not. Yeah. That's interesting though, because I feel like that's a split that I'm aware of between us, is like how many shows you can watch.
Yeah.
Like, you love a show.
Yeah.
Like, you be throwing out shows, Netflix episodes. Like, haven't you seen it? Like, what are you talking about? Whereas I can consume YouTube content for my entire life. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my kind of shows and the like communities where I found female chefs have come from YouTube places. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a Bon Appetit. I would come home every single day and watch whatever they put out.
Really?
Like, I'd know the show. I'd know which day Gourmet Bakes came out. I'd know which day Andy had his show. I'd know which day... What's on Brad used to present? It's Alive. Every single day. Obviously, I'm talking Bon Appetit that is now... Those some of the staff members have been cancelled or chosen to leave. So that was my like teen to like early adulthood thing. I fell for Claire Saffitz, who does Gourmet Bakes. So she would do the whole like making something out of something else. She's mainly a pastry chef, but she'd like make Kit Kat like at home, or make Oreos like at home, or just in the test kitchen. And Molly Baz and Carly Lally Music and all of these people who are chefs in their own right and have like, some of them have professional kitchen experience, but some of them have come like a home cook background and they've turned into cookbook authors or recipe developers and stuff. But those women there, I'll follow them to the end of time.
Oh, really?
They've kind of, a lot of them have left, all the ones I've just mentioned have actually left Bon Appetit, and now I just follow them individually. And I find them really, really inspiring. Like, I think their mix of backgrounds and like the type of foods they like to cook and Solar. Most of these people we follow on the Sonder and Salt account because I follow them.
Oh, really?
I followed them all.
Yeah.
But I think they're amazing, and I've got a couple of their books. I've got Carly Lally Music's book, and I've got Claire's book.
Her last name is Music?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Carly Lally Music.
Oh, okay.
Carla Lally Music.
Yeah.
And I know. How cool.
Yeah, that's like her real... Oh, okay.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love those women. I actually absolutely love them. They might not have like the Michelin star restaurant experience and that kind of status, but their credibility as chefs who cook day in, day out, recipe development every single day.
Yeah.
I love them to pieces. I think they're amazing.
Oh, nice. I wouldn't say there's many people that I like avidly follow.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I can tell you the episodes that I enjoyed. Nancy Silverton, she's actually got a restaurant, Pizzeria Mozza. In
we
London.
were supposed to go there, weren't we?
But
the gluten
bomb. But I still want to go there.
The gluten.
But Nancy Silverton's story, I'm not even going to talk too much because I think it's just really interesting. It was a lot centered around her relationship, her marriage, finding a passion for herself, and then just kind of developing that into something that people love and really appreciate. And I guess one thing, I think generally with chefs anyway, you're always trying to perfect your craft. But I think when you listen to the women speak, because they are women in the kitchen, there's always that kind of fight and push to be respected. And so they really have to go hard on perfecting their craft because there's no room for error for them. That's what they feel like a lot of the time. So Nancy's one was good. I've actually got her book. I think it's Mozza. But she's got a restaurant in London. I'm still to check that out. And then there was Mashama Bailey. So Mashama Bailey, that episode was really interesting. Mashama Bailey is an African-American chef, and she is a chef at a restaurant that is inside a former segregated bus station in Savannah, Georgia. So she pays homage to history and she puts a new spin on Southern food traditions. So that one is...
The SOUF South.
Yeah, and I think that one, for me, when you hear it, you think, what are you doing in the kitchen in a segregated bus station? Like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I wouldn't necessarily say I get it 100%.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, there could be other places, but I think as an African American, someone from the South, she's got a different connection, and she's on a different journey. So that episode was really interesting. But I think the fact that she's been able to carve that out for herself is amazing. So that was a really good episode. And Asma Khan as well, she's got an episode on Netflix, and I think that is one of the best episodes to watch and one of the best visual representations of women in food and what a woman in the food industry can do with other women as well, and that like sisterhood that underpins that. I think that episode is amazing, how she made a life for herself here. Again, for some of these women, it is built off of their desire to be more than just a mother or a wife, and understanding where their value lies and creating a lane for themselves. And I think that was a big part of her story, but what she's been able to do. Yeah. Fantastic.
And now her story is like that she has done all of that for herself, but she's also done that. What do they say? Like, when you break the ceiling, put down a ladder kind of thing. Like, and she's done that in the sense of building her restaurant, which is Darjeeling Express. It's actually recently reopened in Kingly Court in London. And it's an all-female run kitchen and enterprise. I believe like all the members and stuff are women. So that is very much her being like, you know, I didn't have this place to know that I could go here and be guaranteed a job almost like if I was highly skilled. And she's created the opportunity for so many women. My voice is breaking because I'm still recovering from my COVID, baby. That is a very nice little follow-on because I wanted to talk about Asma and Darjeeling Express. Yeah. It's still called Darjeeling Express, right? Yeah. Have you been there?
I have not. It was on my list, and I didn't make it. And I've just then by the time I wanted to go, she was closed down. Yeah. So
one thing actually, I just want to mention while we're on women and their restaurants, Chizuru and their fundraiser.
Yes, I thought we were gonna get to like the ones of today, and then you want to shout out.
Oh, we can do that. But we have a plan, but throw the plan.
Yeah, but Chizuru are doing a fundraiser.
So there's a restaurant that Malika's spoken about before.
Yes.
On a couple of weeks ago, you went to Pop Up by
I did.
Chizuru, right? In 180 Strand?
I can tell you what it's about. Give me a second.
Go on. I can't remember which episode it was, but you did mention it kind of recently.
Chizuru, the head chef at Chizuru is Joke Bakare. Joke opened Chizuru in Brixton Village. It says here actually in September 2020. So this was in the height of COVID. I actually remember going and it was when we were like around Eat Out to Help Out kind of time towards the end of it, I would say. And it was quite small. Brixton Village has got a lot of life down there. Yeah. For whatever reason, they have left Brixton Village and they're trying to secure a new location. I think that is more central. And to be quite honest, it was like a diamond in the rough in Brixton Village. Like,
really?
Yeah. I always said from the first time I went there, they could easily exist in a more central location. Yeah. The price point, I mean, if you're in central London, it probably has to go up. But for what she was offering, it was just such a beautiful experience. Yeah. So they are fundraising. If you follow them on Instagram.
We'll share it on our Instagram as well.
Yeah, then it's got all of the information there, but it's well-deserved. Yeah. I definitely think they need to have that location and be able to show up in the world because I love Joke, I love her food. I love the ethos that underpins it, and I love how she honours the traditional food and the ingredients, but it's still
heritage and stuff.
You still kind of get the uniqueness of her hand, tasting food from her hand.
It was Chizuru. You said
in a couple episodes ago.
You said it a few times there. You had the plantain cocktail, right?
Yes, it was the plantain cocktail.
So that kind of like innovation and like if you read through the fundraiser, just very open and honest about opening a new restaurant, what that looks like in the current landscape and economy. But I think that is a woman in food and in business as a whole that we can get behind and we should get behind.
Yeah, she's definitely done her thing. Yeah. She's definitely done her thing. And I really like what she's doing. So definitely check them out.
Who else are we loving these days?
Who else are we loving these days?
I mentioned a few of my little Bon Appetit faves that I've brought through.
There's a couple that I'm sure you guys are tired. I'm sure you're tired. It's Holly. That's my girl. You already know. Kitchenista. That's Angela. My girl. Angela the Kitchenista. I love them on social media. I love how they show up on social media and I love the food that they produce. It's just the ideas, sometimes they just blow my mind because they're nothing super crazy, super scientific. It's quite simple. It's just finding ingredients, and trying to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
And I love that. So I'd say that.
And what we are doing this International Women's Day, International Women's Month, and the entire rest of our lives, is we're paying women.
Well, yeah.
We're paying them.
Gosh, you make it sound like I was trying to get freebies.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean it in the sense of that both of those creators have Patreons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do.
Where you can pay them. You can fund them for the entertainment that they bring to you and the recipes that people are in the comments begging them for. They are veterans in this game. They've been giving out free content for years and years and years, and they still do. But I think a strong message to be given while we're here on the platform that we've platformed ourselves on to say, fund these enterprises, fund these women's businesses, fund their passions and their projects, whether it be new restaurant openings or just like being able to help support these women on a one-off on Patreon or to be regular subscribers. Yeah. So, push them to do more. Like we can only do so much in sharing them with you guys, but
exactly, yeah.
We can
and even if you're not into Patreon or you're not active on social media, they have books, they have ebooks.
They have books.
I believe Angela's are all ebooks and they're so reasonly priced. The value of the information that you get in the content that they give you through those books, it's way more, it's worth way more than what they're charging. I believe Holly has a book. It's dessert focused. No. The dessert focused one.
Oh, right.
It's the best of Instagram. That book, if you are struggling financially, you actually don't have to pay for it. It's pay what you want. So if you want to pay her $20, $50, you can. If you can't afford it and you just want to be able to cook something from there, you can download it for free. So Angela's, I bought them 3 of her ebooks for like $10 and there is gems in that bad boy. Like there is gems in that bad boy. So you don't have to subscribe on Patreon, but there's ways that you can support them because they've got so much to offer. So yeah, I really like them. Another one, my girl, Chef Vix, celebrity chef.
And she's this month, if you pick up BBC Good Food magazine, she is highlighted in Melissa's column.
Melissa, of course. Melissa, of course. But yeah, Chef Vix, she's out there doing it. She's so humble and quiet. She goes under the radar, but she's very talented.
I was going to say,
she cooks some really good stuff that is just no fluff, not too much.
You know what I can tell about her? She doesn't have enough time. Like, if she had the time to, like, turn out the content of, obviously, the things that she is creating day in, day out, blown, clear. Yeah. Like, clear. No, not even just clear, but loud and clear. Yeah. Like,
yeah, she just needs the time. She does some really lovely stuff with like chicken. Very simple things. Chicken. Her chicken dishes look banging. The simple seasoning, simple things. Yeah. But again, it's just understanding ingredients and getting the most out of them. Not doing too much with stuff and trying to be too fancy. It's just here's a good recipe. Chicken dish. So yeah, really like her.
Another 2 creators that I really like on YouTube more, because that's where I be, are...
I've got one on YouTube. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I know. It's a thought.
Terry Ann's Kitchen, whose name is Terry Ann.
Yeah, that girl can cook.
Yeah, she's St. Lucian.
Is she St. Lucian?
Yeah, she's St. Lucian.
Oh, okay.
And she has a really big YouTube audience, and she's always like sharing like very, very, very detailed recipes. There's literally no fluff. She has a recipe-based channel.
Yeah.
All her food just looks so good.
It does. So
good.
Yeah, it does.
And Jamaican would be That Nurse Can Cook.
Oh, do you know what? I love her. I love her little family.
Her name is Helena, and her husband Greg.
Yeah. I love her. And her daughter, with the wig. But no, they're super cute.
Her Instagram name is That Nurse Can Cook. Helena, her name is, and she is honestly incredible. She's pregnant at the moment.
She is
very pregnant.
So cute.
She's still coming from her baby moon. So maybe if you follow her now, you might see a little hiatus of content. Obviously, she's got a baby to have. But if you scroll back through, she's got reels for days and weeks, the months, the rest of your life. Of amazing Jamaican food. She also does like, I think most Sundays she shares like a Sunday dinner.
Yeah, I think she does. And her husband is Haitian, so she shows some of that influence as well. Yeah.
And even just like, I find the way she is with her family and her kids, I find that very inspiring because there's nothing her kids won't eat.
Yeah.
There's nothing her kids won't try. There's nothing her kids are not like, oh, I want more spice, like, I want more this, I want more that. Like, I think that's...
And she teaches them and encourages them to cook as well. To get involved.
I think they made the baby reveal cake. She had a video of like the kids making a layer of the cake each kind of thing.
Yeah, super cute.
Which is really, really lovely. Yeah. But those are 2 women in food, but again, not necessarily like Michelin star top level people, but I think they're amazing. Anyone else on you? I've got more, but...
Safia, Sister Woman Vegan. Yeah, I know you guys think
that you hate vegans.
Yeah, I know it, I can feel it, but I don't. But I think she does a really good job, not even in the vegan space. I like the wellness aspect to what she does, and it's very holistic, her approach to food. She puts on different events that have food, you know, there, always a part of it, but it's not always centered. It's just about that kind of, that wellness aspect. Yeah. And I like that, and just using food as a medium to be your best self. So I think that's super cute.
I'll bounce off of that with another vegan, show someone vegan love. Yeah. She's Rachel Armour. Oh, yeah. She's also Jamaican, I believe. So she does...
Rachel Armour? I'm sure she's half Ghanaian or something.
Oh.
I could... You might be making it up.
You might be right.
I could be making it up.
You might be right. You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right. But I see so much Jamaican inspiration, at least, in the recipes that she puts out. I think she has 1, maybe 2 books out. I know one of them is called like One Pot 3 Ways. And she has tons and tons of YouTube content. She also had a son and some renovations and stuff, but she's just come back to her YouTube channel. So if you are looking for some inspiration, also for someone to support and subscribe to there, another vegan Rachel Armour.
Speaking of YouTube, do you know who I love on YouTube? A Between. I think that's how you say her name.
She does the pedicures.
Yes. But her food content
is so good.
I really, really love it. She's really big on food waste reduction.
Yeah. I subscribe to her.
Yeah, and using everything as much as possible. She's very big on simple recipes, sustainable ways of cooking at home, and just understanding how to get the best out of your food. But I think she might be a vegan, actually, or she went for a phase of it. I'm pretty sure she's plant-based.
Right.
She might not be vegan. Yeah, but I think she might be plant-based. But I just love watching her videos, her little recipes.
Her lifestyle content is great too.
Banging.
So
good. Banging. She's probably one of the only YouTubers that I actually still engage with, and I love her, what I eat in a day, what I eat in a week.
Yeah, I think that's why I started watching her videos.
Yeah, really
and the nails. She does her like pedicures.
Yeah, it's like ABETWNE.
Yeah. We'll link everyone in the description box below. Someone who really, really, really brings their culture into everything they do in food is Seema. Her Instagram is Seema Gets Baked. She used to be with Mob Kitchen. A lot of people know her from being with Mob Kitchen. She's not with them anymore. She's just a full-time content creator on her own, and she has also just moved out. But while she was living at home, she would cook a lot with her mum, and she would bring she's Indian, and she would bring just so much of that into what she was doing. Even if she was making like a ramen dish, she would have it like spiced with spices she brought back from India, or like just something she got in a local Indian supermarket, or just remixing something with a nostalgic cultural like positioning.
I love stuff like that.
So good. And she also just had so many really interesting things to bring, because she does that series of, you probably have seen it, it's like day 1 of making every dish around the world. She is one of the people who does that. So she just knows a lot, like a lot of stuff. Follow her, Seema Gets Baked on Instagram. I believe she's also on TikTok and possibly YouTube as well. But I engage with her mostly on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay, nice. Do you know who I love on Instagram?
Go on.
My girl, Khalees. Oh. I love Khalees. She doesn't actually put out much cooking content and recipe content, but I think
it's the farm. I love the farm.
Yeah, it's the farm. I love the farm, and I like how she really tries to like dig into the benefits of the food that she's eating as well. Yeah. She has a lot of different products. She's very like product heavy now, so she's got like skincare products.
Bountyandfull.com?
Yeah, Bounty and Full. She does spices. I just love watching her on the farm. It's a different angle of food and the relationship with food. It's like the beginning of the supply chain, like breeding these animals and growing these crops and understanding just basic farming.
Seasonality.
Cultivating food and how you actually do that. The influences that can give you the best or the worst product, things that you can grow, things that you can't based on where you are. Another person that I like, and it's not for cooking content, but again, it's like food adjacent. It's the Spice Suite. I don't remember that lady's name. She's on Instagram, but it's the Spice Angel. She has got I think she's not trained. She just had a passion. She opened a shop in DC and she does a lot of spices. She'll travel around the world, bring spices back, and she'll make mixes or she'll sell single yeast spices. But I really like what she's done, and I think in DC she's been able to create a culture where people are excited about cooking because they have access to these different blends and these different spices that it's not just
I would love that.
What's that popular one in the US?
Old Bay.
Yeah, but it's not to say there's anything wrong with Old Bay, but it's just about getting people to understand that there is more. Yeah, there is more. So anyone I see online that is showing people that there is more and there's different things that you can do, you don't know if you don't know. Do you know what I mean? And your choice is limited when you don't know. So anybody that is highlighting that or sharing that, I really appreciate it. But I think the business that she's built from a food perspective, like a food-based business, love it. So
interesting. Okay, the last person I have to throw into the mix, I mean, I could go on and on, but I actually want to bring it back to kind of how I first started into the food world, and that was on a blog. And someone who still runs their blog up to now and also does like reels content, her name is Joy the Baker. She's just, honestly, I just wanted to be my best friend.
Really?
She's incredible. She lives in New Orleans.
Yeah.
She's not from New Orleans, but she basically set up the bakehouse. No lie, it has its own Instagram. Her home.
Did you taste it when you went there?
No. So it's her. So she has her own home there, and it's a cookery school kind of thing. So she'll do like monthly or quarterly, like camps. So you can go there and learn for like a week, and cook with her and bake with her and all this kind of stuff. And I remember emailing before I went to New Orleans to be like, "Hello, I'm coming these dates. Is there anything you're doing in these dates?" And unfortunately she wasn't. But she also has another page. She somehow managed to run like 4 Instagrams, but one of them is called Drake on Cake. Okay. And when I was doing the small size, people used to order Drake on Cake sometimes for me, and it's literally just a cake, just any decorated cake with a Drake lyric on it.
Oh, okay.
So you know how everyone uses Drake lyrics for Instagram content and stuff like that, but she started this thing, Drake on Cake, and then someone else has since done Timberlake on cake, so they put Justin Timberlake lyrics on cake.
He's got lyrics like that?
I don't know. Wow. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But Drake on Cake and Joy the Baker, but she is just a delight to have in your stories feed. Honestly, she is just an absolute delight. I love everything she does. She's got this cat called Tron, and her boyfriend is currently renovating like an old car and a motorbike, and just her whole life. And the way she'll just be like, yeah, my boyfriend's doing some stuff, so I'm gonna make some cookies. Like, love her to pieces. If you've never heard of her, Joy the Baker.
I haven't, but she sounds like a bit of me, so I might check her out.
Might be a bit too wholesome for you.
What are you talking about?
Hardback Jamaican woman that you are.
I love wholesome content.
Yeah, and she's lovely.
Yeah. I think that might be... The thing is, there's so many women that are doing things.
Let's do a quick roll call some of our friends.
Yeah.
We've got Benjamina, Baked by Benji, Great British Bake Off, Season 7, contributor to the bake sale that you were at last Sunday, contributor to all sorts of amazing... She was a teacher, I guess is the name of it, at Luminary Bakery. Luminary Bakery, that is a bakery project that basically is a social community project, might be the correct term of it. So they hire women from backgrounds with domestic abuse, people that have lost their job, women that are trying to get back into work after having babies. Like, it's a complete like social enterprise. That's the name. Social enterprise. Benjamin has contributed there, baked there.
Addy Pastry. Addy's out in Paris at the moment.
Yes.
Living the dream.
So she's got her Addy Pastry account, and she's also got her bakery account. We'll link both of those in the description. Yeah.
Oh, do you know who I like? Whenever I see her, she's just such good vibes. She's a food writer. And we don't, I think Melissa's a food writer, but we don't always engage with a lot of food writers. Aline Twum, she used to write for Olive Magazine, BBC Good Foods, The Infatuation, but yeah, she's good vibes. Yeah. I'm not sure what she's up to now, because she's always up to something. But yeah, she's got some skin in the game.
Homegirl Melissa Thompson.
Of course,
If you haven't got, it's behind me, isn't it? Yeah. Motherland. Oh, Benjamina's book's here as well, actually.
Really?
Benjamina and Motherland. We keep our friends close.
Yeah.
Keep our friends close. Grab Motherland if you haven't already got it. We've told you about it enough times, so you have it by now.
Another person that I want to shout out is Lorraine from Be Inclusive Hospitality. She's the founder, and they're a non-profit organisation that is centred on professional development and well-being. They have different courses and mentorship initiatives for people that are working within the food industry that don't necessarily have the access to certain skill-based programs and want to develop and want to grow within their craft. So
culinary training is ick.
It's expensive and they don't always get paid appropriately when they're starting out.
You've got to be an intern for a while.
Exactly. So anything that can be done to help, I think, is definitely amazing.
Lucy Dearlove, who runs another food podcast, which is Lekker. Podcast.
I like that food podcast.
I've listened to it for years. She has different seasons that are focused on different things. But Lucy, absolutely amazing. There's another podcast that you can check out if you're in this food podcast game. There are so many more women that we could go through. And to be honest,
time is of the essence.
Yeah. There might be more listed in the description that we've been able to talk about, just obviously once we've collected our notes and everything. Yeah. But I think that is a very strong list of women to celebrate, be inspired by, follow, fund, pay, and encourage this International Women's Day and International Women's Month. Happy International Women's Day to you, sweetheart.
Oh, happy International Women's Day to you. Like I said, follow us on Instagram because some of these people were sharing things from them. The more people you follow, the more people you have access to. So that's what I would say. You can check things out on Netflix. You can check things out on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We've mentioned so many different platforms that give you access to women.
And if you feel like you don't know any women in food, that's on you.
Fair enough.
That's on you. Because they're out there. And it's like,
sure.
It's the same conversation we had around like Black history and culture and stuff. It's like it's not up to the women to have to come and shine their light inside your eyeballs. Go out and find them. Exactly. They're out there doing
I think when you know that there is a problem with the platform, that you have to take some accountability to say, well, I'm gonna try and find
seek them out.
These people because they are there on these platforms that exist outside of traditional food-based platforms, not just in restaurants or on
Food
mainstream
Network.
TV. Exactly. There's other ways to engage. So definitely do that.
Well, thank you so much for listening. Hope you've learned something.
Yes, I have.
Have a wonderful week. We'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
That was a good one, you know?
Remix.